I'm going to demonstrate how to apply a different logo to basketball courts in the 4th Street basketball game here, and maybe update them so they look a little nicer. The default logos that come with the game, you may have noticed, are kind of paint splotchy, and that may be okay for some people, but not for others. But we'll go ahead and I'll show you how to do this. So first of all, we need to find a logo that's a little better. Now I went to sportsreference.com and found this one. Here's the Gophers from 2021-22. If you right click on the logo and click on Save Image, you can go ahead. If you right click on the logo and choose Save Image, you can go ahead and save this, and that should go in the Documents, 4th Street Software, 4th Street Basketball, and then just find the season. This is a college season, so under 2021-22. I need to put that in the Logos folder so the computer can find it. So we'll click that. Notice it was a PNG file, which is good because that type of file is capable of hanging on to transparent backgrounds, which is what we need for this. Alright, now we still want to manipulate that, because right now if I simply take a look at that file and blow it up here, you're going to see all kinds of white space around it, and that will show up on the court. We don't want that, and so we're going to eliminate it by using 3D Paint. If I just click on Windows, I'm using Windows 11 for this recording. If I go ahead and hit the Start button, and then up in the search bar just type 3D, Paint 3D will be the first thing that pops up in all likelihood. So we'll go ahead and start that up, and then I'm going to open up the file that I just took. And again, if it doesn't bring you straight here, remember your logo file should be stored in Documents, 4th Street Software, 4th Street Basketball. By the way, this will work for the other games too, not just the basketball one. And then again, just find the season, the appropriate season you have. Open up the Logos folder, and that's where all these should be stored. Okay, we'll go ahead and open that up. And there it is. And if I use my mouse wheel here, I can enlarge it or use the slider over here. So my goal here is to get rid of all the white background and just have the M on the court after I get done. So there's a tool in Paint that'll allow you to do that. It's called Magic Select. So click it, and you'll notice that it puts these crop buttons on. Now, in some cases, maybe really close to the piece of the picture that you want to keep, you still need to move these a little bit, and 1 pixel really should do the trick. Otherwise, the computer will just default to what you already have there. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that, make it a little bit tighter on the M, hit Next. And this gray area is basically what's being lopped off here. Now, there's a little trademark down in the corner. I'm going to use that as an example. Normally, I would just keep that there, but in this case, if I do have some splotches that I'd like to get rid of, you can click the Remove button and just kind of draw over those carefully, and it'll eliminate it for you. Keep the autofill background on, hit Done, even though we're not done. And then we've got this. Okay, now notice it looks like the white background just came back. That's not entirely true, but we're going to drag the M out of the way. Then I'm going to go ahead and click and drag around this entire piece of the photo, that's the canvas, and delete that item. You'll see that TM and some of the other shady stuff disappear here. Okay, that's what we want. Now I'll click back on the M and drag it back into place. If you want at this point, you can change the dimensions a little bit. If I do that, however, by clicking on these, it's going to stretch the object. So I'm going to avoid that. I really don't need to do that anyway, because the program, the computer program, the basketball program, will automatically update that anyway and zoom in on it. Alright, so we have that. Now we want to click on Canvas and then turn the canvas, which is all this background, transparent. Okay, got it. Alright, now we're done. So we'll go up to Menu and save this guy. So save as an image. Notice the checkerboard here on the M. The checkerboard designates a transparent area. We definitely want PNG, because if you choose something else like JPEG or bitmap, it's going to turn that area back into a white surface, which is not what we want. Alright, we'll go ahead and click Save. And I'm just going to title this guy Minnesota 2. I already have a Minnesota, so we'll just go Min 2. Okay, and that is solved. We'll just go, or saved. We'll just go ahead and close that down. We don't need to save this. That would mean a piece of work that maybe we have. We'll go back to the computer program, click on the logo age area, and then we'll find that same file that we just made. Here it is, Min2. So I'll double click that and voila, it loads that as my logo. Okay, now remember the end game here is to get that onto a new court. So let's click on the arena editor. And we can see this is just a generic basketball court. There's no real features here, except you can tell there's a wood grain on the floor. Here's my Minnesota logo. We need to open up a different court, or we don't have to, but I'm going to open up a different court. And I'll look through these, and I'm going to pick one of the lighter ones here. Light 5 looks like a nice picture. Okay, up on the toolbar, you can see that there's one of these paint areas that is got a border around it. That's the active color. So if I click on the gold, it replaces it. There's the alternate color. There's black. Okay, what I'm going to do is keep the maroon, and we'll use the maroon for the outer portions of the free throw lane. So I click on the flood fill button. Fill those in, and then I think I'll go ahead and make the center portion gold. So there's my maroon and gold colors. Alright, now I'm going to click on the arrow button after that to get it back to the pointer, the regular pointer, instead of the flood fill tool. And then I'd like to apply this to the center of the court. So I click on the merge court and logo images. There it is. Okay, now that doesn't save this as a file, so we need to go in here and hit the save button. The default is Minnesota 2021-22. If there's a file there with that same name, it'll prompt you if you want to overscore that or overwrite that. I don't, so I don't have that right now. So we'll just hit save. And now the next time you play a game, and I know the Gophers played MSU on December 8th, it will use that court because the Gophers are the home team. So after a second or so, it'll load up that file, and there you go.